Hello everybody, the Great Dino Ranger here again, back with another review. We are at the very last safari figure review that I got for my birthday. Hence, we are at the end of my birthday reviews. So, yeah, we're gonna close it off with this final safari figure, and this is the Safari Ltd Megalosaurus. So this one, along with the Nanosaurus, was one of my most anticipated releases, newer releases from Safari. Because everything about this figure is freaking fantastic. It is such a gorgeously sculpted figure. It's unbelievable. It's awesome. I mean, Megalosaurus is already a very famous and a very cool dinosaur. I mean, Megalosaurus really is, it is the first dinosaur to be named. So the fact that it took this long for Safari to give us this dinosaur is pretty interesting, considering it's like the very first one to be named. So it's about time. Same thing can be applied with Mattel, by the way. We didn't get a Megalosaurus from them until last year. Yeah, during the Epic Evolution line. So, but of course they didn't have the line or access to Jurassic, this whole time anyway. So that's okay. But Safari, they've been a thing for a long time, and now we're just now getting a Megalosaurus. And I gotta say, even though it's not Jurassic Park, I think this is definitely the best Megalosaurus I have in my collection. Actually, aside from Jurassic World only having the other Megalosaurus I have, I think this is the best Megalosaurus I have in general. I only have the Jurassic World one and this one, so those are the only Megalosauruses I have, and this one's by far the best one. It is entirely accurate to the real animal, as best it can be, but also the sculpting and the colors, everything about this figure is amazing. And here's the thing, the sculptor who sculpted this is different. This is a definitely different sculpted figure than previous ones. We got the smoother ones that we've gotten, with the Nanosaurus and the Diplodocus and the Stygimoloch, and then we got the classic sculpting, with the most recent Austroraptor and their Utah Raptor, right? And then we have this one. This one is brand new. So this is definitely a brand new sculptor who did this figure. And this one is, it's smooth, but it's actually made out of a very durable rubber material. Kind of like what you see in a lot of the somewhat more recent Schleich dinosaur releases. They have like that very rubbery tone to it. Because if you rub your fingernail across the sculpt, it just has like that rubbery feeling to it, which is what caught my attention. So that's really cool. That's something I've never seen. So whoever sculpted this Megalosaurus, I hope they do more Safari figures. I hope they do more dinosaurs. So, because I love the way these feel. So the texture, the feeling of this figure is amazing. And next with that, the entire sculpt, the detail, it's great. It is so good. This is like PNSO level good. Safari is already like my favorite dinosaur model company, but to see something like this in the Safari line is really cool. It's just like it looks so lifelike, with the bones and the muscles literally flexing through the skin, showing a lot of movement in its position, like the stretch marks in the skin right here, the skin kind of stretching into the leg. The skin folds in the neck, very reminiscent to modern day reptiles that we see. Just the movement in the sculpt and just the skin wrinkles and the folds, it looks so good. And I love the pose too. Look how the neck is like in a twisted position, which is making its head tilt. And you can see like that movement in the sculpt here, and it just looks so good. The stretching of the skin. Yeah, this is a fantastic figure. So whoever sculpted this, well done. This is an awesome, awesome figure. It's already an awesome dinosaur, and it's an awesome sculpted figure. So it looks really great. As you can see here in the head, I think it looks pretty accurate to a Megalosaurus head. Really thin too, but it's also very Tyrannosaur-like. That's something that also caught my attention, but it's not as bulky and robust. But it looks really great with the little crest and the nostrils. just the mouth position. I like how the lips, their lips are very prominent on this one because the teeth aren't fully exposed like other figures. They're kind of like just lightly exposing, like the tips are just lightly exposing, whereas the rest of the tooth are just hidden in the gums. I think that is actually a very accurate representation of how dinosaur teeth were like in real life. Because especially when you look at animals today, like reptiles that have teeth, their full teeth aren't exposed. It's just like roughly the tip of it, and everything else is in the gums. And the teeth are nicely sculpted as well, individually sculpted, both on the upper and lower jaw. The tongue is nicely sculpted. I like the way the mouth looks with it open like that. Just really great stuff going on here. And like I said, I like the wrinkles in the skin right here, the muscle definition flexing through the arms and through the legs, just showing you just how, you know, lifelike this animal is, like as if it's actually moving and it's flexing the muscles as it's walking. I like this little muscle piece right here on the tail, very lizard-like, which is really awesome. More muscle definition here on the legs, which look great. And the sculpt on the body is really great too. It's like not scaly, it's just kind of like very smooth. You can see a lot of the lined texturing kind of sprinkled throughout the entire figure. You even got some like lighter little bumps in the sculpt that are sticking out, so that might be part of the skin, which is really cool looking. I like the little ear hole right there. The arms are nicely done. The claws look nicely sculpted on both sides. Look at, you can see more of that muscles flexing right there. I like this part of the skin where it just kind of stretches as the leg is pulled back. This part right here, you know, just you got a lot of nice movement shown in this figure. You can see a lot of the lined texture with some of the smaller bumps here and there. Even here on the tail, the legs and the feet look nicely sculpted, very bird-like, I would say, on the feet, which is really cool. A lot of the ridges and a lot of the nice, like look at that detail on the leg. It's kind of like what you would see like on a cassowary or an emu today, just the lined texturing on the skinny, you know, reptilian, or not really reptilian, but bird-like legs. The underside of the feet look really nice. The dew claws nicely sculpted. Same with this foot, just nicely sculpted. It looks fantastic. And on the underside, this is really cool. You got like these, almost like these crocodilian-like scales on the underside, which is really cool. And they're nicely sculpted as well. Nicely portrayed, and that pretty much goes all the way to roughly the tip of the tail. More like it kind of ends right here. And it just looks really great. Yep, the 2024 Megalosaurus. Such a great figure for the 2024 lineup. And so yeah, the sculpting, phenomenal. The paint job is just as gorgeous. I love the paint job, and really enough, the paint job on here almost doesn't look like it's hand painted, except for like the teeth or the mouth. You can tell the teeth are hand painted. Same with the inside of the mouth a little bit, because sometimes it kind of bleeds onto the rest of the sculpt. But I don't really have a problem with that. Like I said, I really like the hand painted look to it because it kind of makes these feel a lot more special, in my opinion. Like I feel like there's a lot more care going into them, but that's just me. Everything else though looks like it's just either molded into this rubber or they have like a new painting technique. I don't know what it is, but the colors are great. You got a primary green for the entirety of the body, and then you got like a really dark black that kind of starts from the eye, that kind of stripes down to the shoulder region right here, and then it stripes the rest of the body. And I like how it's not very thick, but kind of faint. So kind of like what you'd see on modern day reptiles, maybe like a monitor lizard. And you got like a black tip for the tail, and that darker color for the striping kind of is applied to the legs and the arms. That kind of covers the majority of the arms here, and then from the knee down is covered in like that dark color. And that same color is on the feet themselves. So the claws aren't painted because it's the darker color, which actually works perfect. Then you got like this yellowish, pale yellowish color on the neck right here that kind of goes down to the arms a little bit. That looks really cool. And you got a bright yellow eye, the black pupil looking nice. And then you got this really cool shade of red that goes from the base of the neck all the way down to at least the back end over here. which is really cool. It's really catching, it's really eye-catching, and it really reminds me of modern lizards that you see today. Some of them just have like these really cool colors applied to them. So yeah, it looks fantastic. Really great figure. And like I said, this thing's made out of a rubbery material, so it's a lot more bendy, but it's not very bendy. It's actually very, very stiff. So it's made of a durable, harder rubbery material. So it's fantastic. Now for comparison, I only have one thing to compare it to, and that is the Iguanodon. This is the 2016 Iguanodon. This is the second dinosaur to be named, I believe. I think I'm correct on that. I don't know, it'd be kind of embarrassing if I was incorrect with that, but these two are like roughly like the first dinosaurs to be like discovered and named. So it's really cool to have both of these in not only my model collection, but also in Jurassic World. So, because these are very important species, or dinosaurs in just the history of the world in general. Iguanodon is one of my top 5 favorite dinosaurs. So these two look really great together. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this Megalosaurus. So I extremely highly recommend getting this figure. Everything about it is just spot on. It is a gorgeous figure. Everything from the paint to the sculpt to the pose, it's great. Stands perfectly too. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for this awesome figure. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed all these reviews from everything I got from my birthday. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for future videos.